Crazy. Hi guys, how you doing? Whoa, hang on a second. Popped it down. Forgot to turn it on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's see what happens. Hope you guys can actually hear me on the live chat room. And just turning it on here. So I got the mic here. Good, 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 good. All that and some. Um, I've been late getting in because I had so much to talk about, and also we're you won't believe it, folks. We got the Bill C-36 chasing us. Okay, we have that here in Canada. That means that they pass this order that they're making sure that we don't talk. When the truth is exposed, they don't want you to speak whatsoever. And this is what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to prevent all of us from speaking to you out there. And we have to do as much as we possibly can. So, thank you guys for joining me on the YouTube chat room as well as Facebook chat room. And you all see after the show's program is finished, I say we're recording. I pop it on Rumble, and also you'll see it on Telegram. On my True North Strong and Free page, I have one actually in Facebook. I've had it there long before got it involved with Telegram. I got well over. This is the funny thing is I got well over 1,000 plus members in the Facebook True North, and I got about 256 ish around there is Telegram. So not bad. I mean, basically, you get people that follow you, and then they don't want to follow you anymore. They keep on saying, "Oh, we have high hopes," and then they say, "Oh, you failed us." Like, failed you what? Well, you made predictions. I don't make predictions on this because I try to give as much as possible to share with you what's going on, what I was shared with regarding the people that are involved. And yet, sometimes they'll move things up faster to make things happen. And then sometimes they have to move things a little bit slower because they found more stuff. And so it depends on the military, depends on the president of the United States, the real one, so to speak, or you call it commander in chief, not Bidan. Bidan has nothing to do with this. He's fire in the sky. He's gone. Anyways, um, like I said before, we got some news here. They are trying, though darnedest, to actually stop us from sharing information. In fact, they are trying to get us, or trying to stop us. You might be able to hear me now on YouTube now, so try it again. They are trying to prevent us from forwarding, or like some people like say, well, they want to share something with you and they don't want you to forward anymore. Instagram is and Facebook are owned by the same people, so there you go. And TikTok, now they're trying to go after TikTok. I never really did care for TikTok at first. I thought um, I thought there was like something crazy going on, and I thought maybe some crazy people out there. But now there are more people that are awake, okay, and they are on TikTok more than you think. I mean, here's something even for Travis can do: go on TikTok. If you haven't done it, Travis, do some TikToks yourself to share some of your information. It's great to do. You get that 3 minute, I think, 3 minutes on the TikTok. I haven't done it yet. I've been watching what other people have done, but I actually did join it to see who has anything legitimate to share. And there are some really good people out there that I do trust because I've actually been working with them or not working with them, following them, or they have been, I guess to say, trusted from the very beginning. So they've been still sharing as much as they can. And here's the crazy part: we're always being passed around from different social networks, and if you can't get in one, you get into the other. If you can't get into the other, you go into another. So, if you can't find me, we're also somewhere to be found. So I just joined Truth Social, and that's come out. So if you guys haven't done it, join it. It's worth your while. Truth Social actually is owned by the commander in chief. He owns it. Truth Social. If you haven't got the app, download the app. It's worth your time and worth your looking in, because you'll get the and everyone's right now is really busy looking for the Q. Okay, like a lot of the Q, I guess to say drops, and there a lot of it's talked about in Telegram and a few others. They're sharing information, which is fine. We have to somehow. And anytime you get a Q drop, you got to try to figure it all out yourself and see if you're correct or not correct. And whether we try to do as much as we can. Some people will not like it. They call it fear porn. I don't know why they call it porn. It's not even naked. They're trying to get you like, when I share something on my pages, I do as much as I possibly can to share the truth. And I do welcome you folks. If you actually are on any of my pages, please feel free to share information, what's going on out there, out the rest of the world, because sometimes, I'm not always in Europe. I might be doing local stuff. I may be doing with Canada parts, not as much as the United States, but I do a lot of research and looking. And if anybody has something very legitimate, I'm going to find it. And they say, well, what do you think, Derek? You should share this. And if I feel it's going to be important, vitally important, it will be shared, whether other people have shared it before, but others have not seen it yet. And it could be a year old. Someone say, oh, it was 2021 or 2022. I don't care. I never seen it. So I'm going to share it. It doesn't hurt to see it again. If you don't like to see it, then fine. You don't have to look at it. If you don't, but like I said, I tell people as much as I possibly can to share what's important. Okay. I know you like to share your Pleiadian women. Travis, you're funny. So we have, let's see here. What's going to happen here? Let's talk some Turkey. Let's talk about digital currency. Now, right now, at this moment, as we speak, there have been a lot of people actually noticing a lot of the banks are now beginning to not work for them, especially there is Bank of Montreal. Bank of Montreal now had been shut down for a day or two. And people have been phoning. In fact, people were unable to do even transactions. This is in Canada, folks. We're unable to do any transactions, even purchasing or buying gas, you name it. They have difficulty, and they're tell people to use credit, to use your cash. Well, that's true. If you have cash, get your gas with cash, because you want to really make the businesses look as if they need the dollar. And I'll use that word dollar because what I had read or shared, the word dollar or dollar, it's a Latin word for pain and suffering. Did you guys know that? The word dollar, D-O-L-L-A-R, but actually the word dollar used to be hyphened. And it's actually a Latin word for pain and suffering. Go figure. Well, you owe me 15 pain and sufferings. So they, this is crazy. Even if you name certain things that we've been learning, we've been educated, taught, what to believe in a name. The more you hear it, like you're educated as a child growing up, you're learning what people teach you in words. It's like a new language. If you're learning how to speak French, or if you learn how to speak another European language, or even a local language, even family language, you're believing in them because you're trusting them. Okay, that's the word trust. But when you learn that word, even if it's in Latin, and you think to yourself, now, am I going to use this again? So we, like now you're going to turn around and say, well, if that's not going to cost you $15, are you going to call it now 15 cash? They're not going to use the word dollar now. We're going to call it 15 cash. The cash is your cash up front. So anyways, I thought it'd be interesting to share that with you. D-O-L-L-A-R, and it normally has a hyphen between. It's actually a Latin word, means pain and suffering. Go figure. And that's Latin. Go. never did know that. So our digital currency, their government's trying so hard to push the digital currency And even I would say, number one, you guys may feel that Justin Trudeau is also the main person that's given and suffering, so to speak, or pushing the digital currency, but actually it isn't Trudeau. It is Chrystia Freeland. Okay. And I'll tell you why. If you guys remember that Chrystia Freeland actually was at the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and she actually was one of the speakers there. Okay. So you'll see on their website, and actually I'm going to twist this over and have you guys have a look here because it's important for you guys to see this. So I'm going to actually do a switch real quickly here. I've got to get this thing set up for YouTube to make sure you guys see that too after. So I'm going to do this with Facebook. But you'll see here, there's Chrystia Freeland, and she's actually a member of the World Economic Forum. Okay. And it says that she was appointed Deputy Prime Minister of Canada and the Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. Now, in her capacity of her work, she decided to go even deeper. She decided to join the World Economic Forum as a member, as a trustee, a board trustee. Okay. So Chrystia Freeland is a member of Forum board trustee. That makes her a mouthpiece. That means she's actually Justin Trudeau's, I could just say, handler. She's telling him what to do. He's not on the board. He's on the board on the WEF. He's just a prime minister. But we've got Chrystia Freeland, who actually is the big mouth. She's the mouthpiece. Why do you think she tries to avoid so many questions as well, just as much as even Trudeau? She knows, and her service to the WEF is to actually be in control of the money. Okay, she wants to be in control of the money. She wants to be the leader of the WEF. Okay, so I got an idea. I'm going to try something here. Let's try this. Okay. Now, if you want to know what the word trustee means, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. The word trustee, and a lot of you guys have no idea. Trustee means an individual person or member of a board given control or powers of administration of property in trust with a legal obligation to administer it solely to the purposes specified. That means that she can do whatever she wants. That means a state made responsible for government of a trust territory by the United Nations. Okay. So what does that tell you? That means that she's got a big mouth. That means that Chrystia Freeland actually is the one that you have to watch very closely because she is the problem. She's going to be the one that's going to give you all the problems, all the major problems. Okay. Now let's get this one over here and let's see, move this one here. The switch. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to be doing some sharing here. Oh, come on, you. So now, if you guys ever get a chance, go to the WEF, okay, well, the weforum.org/people/Chrystia-Freeland. You will see in there what she's doing. So basically, in this capacity, she led Canada's united response to the C-19 pandemic. So she was the one that was the mouthpiece. She was the one that's telling people what to do. Everyone was blaming Trudeau. I'm sure he's got major problems on with his life right now too, because he's being investigated for child trafficking and SNC-Lavalin and quite a few other things as well. That will be exposed in the near future. Okay. They're trying to expose it. He's already exposed himself, literally. But and there actually have been videos. We'll share that with you in a few minutes here. There are some videos that I want you guys to see. There are people up in Ottawa that have been fighting very hard to make sure that they are out there in Ottawa protesting, trying to defend the children, trying to protect the kids. And for some reason, we've got some people out there still causing trouble. I'm not talking about the ones that are protesting. I'm talking about other people, and especially the police officers. I'm not talking about RCMP. RCMP are not involved. This is actually the Ontario OPP. They're illegitimately should not be actually arresting people for even saying the word God to the public. In fact, you're not even allowed, they're saying on the grounds in Ottawa, you're not even allowed to even preach the Bible. You're not even allowed even to bring out the Bible, to even share some words of wisdom, just like it's a book. It's considered as a blasphemous thing according to the police now. So now they're arresting people. You're not being fined now. They arrest you. They take you away. You spend the night in jail for actually bringing out the Bible, because they're saying that you're hurting the LGBTQ people. Well, number one, a lot of people that are of the LGBTQ, I've actually know a lot of them actually that do believe in God and do read the Bible. There's no judgment in this. No one really is judged in the Bible. It's just that what they are disagreeing with is what's happening to the kids, to the children. That's what everybody's upset about. It has nothing to do with how you lead your life is your decision. But having to go after a child and create this PEDO things, no, that's not agreed whatsoever. You're doing more harm to the children than you think, and then trying to change their sex at the same time. So we've got a politician who is agreeing, and she's not a nice woman. She's a very nasty. Let me see if I can bring her up here. Let's see. This is what's happening in the school grounds where there's politicians. Some politicians are actually following. I'm hoping I kept it. I'm not sure if I did. No, I don't think I did. But yes, here's one of them. Okay. I'm going to share this with you guys. This is one on TikTok. I'm going to bring this a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm hoping I make it this bigger. I'll bring this up close. Now, watch carefully and listen to this carefully, because it says, June the 24th, 2023, various religions, cultures, and creeds protest various aspects of the Trudeau government. And here's what happened.
And thank you for coming. This is the first step to a long future of working together to make Canada the country we want to be. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Okay, now here that's one of them, folks. And when I saw this on TikTok, and I thought, okay, this is a combination of the complete amount of the amount of people that actually had protested out in Ontario. A lot of the parents, a lot of the teachers, actually a lot of teachers quit their jobs from what they didn't want to do what what they had experienced. We do have some, I guess you'd say, Nazi teachers who actually believe that they have power over the children. Now they're bear spraying them in the face and tell them they have to capitulate to the school's rules, or this is what's going to happen to them. So every student that was assigned to stand against the wall, the school wall outside, and this teacher or principal, I'm not sure who he is, but it said that they had to capitulate or they basically, he tortured them. And this is assault. This is assault, folks, and these kids did not realize what the heck was going on. So I want you to see this. This is going to make you sick, absolutely sickless. Okay, here we go. Bring this up close here.
Right? Stop resisting, please comply. Stop resisting, please comply. Stop resisting, please comply. Stop! Don't open your mouth. Stop resisting. Don't open your mouth. Don't open your mouth. Stop resisting. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
What you guys seen here is actually, these are the students that were protesting because they were resisting against what was going on with the kids in school. They refused to work with the schools, and they were protesting, and so they were told to line up. It's not good. Okay. Now, someone actually said in there, they said, "Oh, I saw this." They said the parents signed a waiver so they can go into the Army and Police Academy to feel what it's like. That's not true. This is a school. A school. That is not training. Okay. That what they said. Don't resist. You have to comply and don't resist. And they force them to resist. These are kids. These aren't young men and women. These are children. And this is, and why would the parents sign a waiver allowing the children to be hurt, physically hurt? Okay, this is not correct. This is not like, number one, it's up to the kid if he or she's going to sign something. But they said, according to this person, said there that the parents agreed. They think it's okay for them to be pepper sprayed or to be bear sprayed. No, that will destroy your eyes. You do not stand there. That is bullshit. These men enjoyed torturing the children. That's still abuse. Absolutely abuse. How many times would anybody ever want to put a spray in your face? Never, hardly ever. The people who invented spraying the face are the police, because they want to, if they can't shoot you, they're going to spray you. And most of the time, they won't even use a spray. They shoot. to kill. Right? And so, yeah, Travis says, I thought that was military for a second. Then I was 18. I got gas Hudson, okay, BMK training, and that shit was abuse. Of course it's abuse. And these guys stood there and smiled. They thought it was fun. Okay? That is abuse. That is absolute abuse to the students. These kids are only 14 to 16 years of age. And they're telling them not to resist. We know, I know about this one here. This is actually what the kids were protesting. But they're saying, oh, no, it was training. Bull crap, it was training. It was not training. That was abuse. Okay? And you guys, and our government signed it that it's okay to abuse children now. They signed, whoever these people signed, whoever, this is, I think this was in either in Canada or the States. Let me see here. Have a look here quickly, and this one is in this was in the States. No, it's here. Oh yeah. Yep. It's the same time where a preacher that day was arrested for actually sharing the Bible in public. Very same day. That video is right after that one. So yeah, same person, same day. I would say, folks, to have a look and see if it is correct. But like, again, these kids, they're way too young. These are little kids, and they're forced to take the shot of that pepper spray or bear spray, and that's not good. Absolute torture. Okay. That's one of them. And the other one is, let's see here, we're going to go after this one here. Coming up next is let's talk about Trudeau. Oh, no. Let's go to the WEF because I mentioned about this beginning. Now, the WEF is calling for a 75% reduction in private car ownership. Okay, this was actually called up. This was June the 17th, according to the World Economic Forum, or whatever they call themselves. Klaus Schwab is actually calling for 75% reduction. That means he wants to take your car ownership away from you. Okay. And let's see here. You guys get to see this. Watch this.
And we got this piece of shit wanting our damn cars. He's calling on the global governments to agree to a new green agenda goals that will significantly reduce the number of cars that are privately owned by the public. The WEF is pushing for a staggering 75% reduction in the private ownership of cars, including electric vehicles, by 2050. So this globalist asshole argues that most of the world's population will be urban by 2050, and that the public won't be able to justify the need for a private car or the use of commercial air travel. So the public must shift to public transportation. And this was exposed from a report in the Wall Street Journal. But Charles Schwab, you done lost your fucking brain.
Yep. Now you know. This person actually had feelings, and they didn't like the idea of what was going on. Yeah, I mean, these are true stories, editorials, folks. These are shared amongst. These are from the media, mainstream media, but these are people that they're actually asking for these type of things to happen. Now, there's a fellow I know who originally is he's actually from South Africa, South Africa, and has a British accent, so to speak. And he actually lived in China for 10 years. And he married a woman there who was Chinese, and she was a doctor. Married her, had a little girl. And because of his research and what he did in China, they didn't like him too much. The CCP didn't like him too much, and he basically had to escape from China because his life was in danger, and so was his family. When he came to the States, and he knows his research, so he actually did a documentary about China and their EV cars that there was over 150,000 over plus 300 over 150,000 EV cars. Okay, they're still cars, folks. Some people say, "Oh, they're just EV. They're not real cars." Yes, they're real freaking cars. You can call them an EV, no matter what you call them. It's still got a freaking battery in it. 150,000 plus more of those cars have been left out in the field, and with license plates on them, registry, the whole 9 yards. People have abandoned them because they're told they can't use them anymore. That was the next step. They said, once you let go of your vehicle, if you give up your vehicle, once you give up your home, that means when you give up your car, even if you did a drive electric car, once you give that up, they don't want you even they don't want you even driving. They don't want you to take any sort of transportation. Even if you took a bicycle, because there was over 750,000 to 1 million EV bicycles in the field in China, okay, in that field, and they were also abandoned there. Okay, bicycles, nobody's using them. Why? Gee, I wonder why. Batteries, 30 degrees more than that, or it doesn't work, or they don't want you going anywhere. Keep walking. That's exactly what they want to do. You're still the slave. That's why China is used as a slave-run country. They want to give you an idea what it's like for them to control the people there in China, and you're going to like it. That's what they're trying to do they're going to try to do to the Canadians, Americans, and anybody else across the world, the same thing. Oh, well, we'll get rid of the gas-related car. We'll have an electric car. Boom, up goes the motor. It's on fire. The battery burns. Next thing your car is gone. Well, you can't replace it because you're only allowed to have one vehicle once. And if it's gone, that's it. You can't travel, can't walk. Hey, it's your problem. You're supposed to like it. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Okay. I do have that video on my Telegram page regarding the vehicles that are in the field, but that takes about 20 minutes for that whole intro, and I didn't want to take it that long. But if you want to find that very same video regarding the EV cars that are in the field in China, it's on my Telegram page in my Telegram, and you may have to dive for it, but it's there. It's in my page, the True North Strong and Free page. It's in there. What else we got here? I want to share with you guys that we find it's very important that you need to know. This is all coming up. This is Justin Trudeau, and he had his little visit back and forth. The people are not very happy with him. Gee, I wonder why. But here's one of the videos. Now, this is actually called this a very interesting morning. The PM, he was, they were wanting the kids to sing "O Canada." They told him to go where to go. But here's where it is. You guys can watch the video and you hear and listen to the people in the background. In the end, someone yelled out to Trudeau, "You're a pedophile." Oh yeah, they had to try and do their damnedest to get his attention, but of course, Trudeau goes, "Oh hi, I'm still your friend. Oh hi, I'm still your friend." Yeah, right. Okay. the next thing I want to show you guys is like I take all these pieces from my page on Telegram to share with you, in case you've not been able to see this. If you haven't got the app, download the Telegram app and find me. I mean, it's worth your while. I mean, a lot of people have been keeping up to what's going on. You may not like sometimes, but again, this gives you a bit of a wake-up call to see what to expect. Now, number one, everyone's saying, well, this is happening. That means that we don't stand a chance. That means we have to give in. We got to go digital. No, you don't. You do not. You fight for your right, and so you refuse. Now, here's one thing I love what this person said to me one time. They said this: Derek, if you can get a hold of 30 people, 30 to 50 people, when it comes a time when they decided to use these monitored doorways, that you have to use your cell phone to get in, to identify you on camera, the whole 9 yards, before you can go shopping. If you don't decide to use the Q code, and you don't want to do digital and just bring cash only, just cash, leave your cell phones either in your cars or at home. Nobody, and just have one picture, take a picture, bring a camera, but don't bring any cell phones, and just bring cash only, okay? Because you are forcing the stores to still take cash. If you pretend that you don't know this currency thing, that you don't have the cell phone, you can't do digital, that you're not, you're not into that, you don't mind taking pictures, but that's all you're going to do. You're not going to transition. You're not going to have no government to tell you how to control your life, what you can spend, what you can't spend. Straight cash. Tell them money is a real legal tender. It is far above any digital. We already talked about that before. It is legal tender under the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. And somebody just said to me the other day, a couple days ago, oh, they said they removed the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. It's no longer real. Yes, it is. The Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms cannot be removed. It is a charter. No prime minister can remove, not one freaking prime minister can remove the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. It has to be voted by everyone, and it wasn't. One prime minister can wipe it out. Yeah, he can try to remove it off the website. Guess what? That's called crimes against humanity. Guys, you haven't lost your Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. Some lady told me at the flea market or market here last Sunday, oh, we lost the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. We can't do anything now. We don't have we have no rights. Yes, you do. You still have the Nuremberg Code 2.0. You also have the Geneva Convention that protects you far above all Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. You still are protected. But no one's paying attention. I even had to explain, we're no longer under a corporation. We are not corporation controlled any longer. Oh, well, the mainstream media didn't say anything yet. No, they won't, because Trudeau, based himself, he paid $650 million to make sure no mainstream media, none, will actually speak the truth. He told them to lie for him. Or whatever they want to share, he won't let them. Because the threat is, if you say anything, you lose your job. That's their fear. But people tend to forget the real JT has been a long time ago. He's been taken out. Okay, the military took care of that. This is just working for them. You're not their slave. If that's why they keep on telling you that you're supposed to vote. If you don't vote, they're saying that you can get charged. That's bullcrap. Or if you don't do the census, and they can actually charge you and you can go to jail for that. That's bullcrap. Every few days, I get the same garbage sent to me, a letter. Oh, let me bring it down. Whoops. This letter, I forgot to bring it down, comes in my mail. Come on down. There we go. Great picker. Comes in my mail. Not my doesn't have my name on it, but it has my address. And it says, okay, number one, on the letterhead, it says Statistics Canada. Okay. I'll put extra pair of glasses on just to see the fine print. I want you guys to see the fine print. Okay. So it says Statistics Canada, June the 12th, 2023. Now, this is my fourth letter sent to me, and it says, Dear Householder, not homeowner, not my name, it's householder. I didn't know I was holding a house. But it says, hello, your household was recently selected to participate in the National Travel Survey conducted by Statistics Canada. And if you have already completed the online questionnaire, please accept our thanks and disregard this letter. If you're not, there is still time to participate. Your participation is important whether you travel recently or stayed close to home. The purpose of the National Travel Survey is to study the characteristics of Canadian travelers and non-travelers in order to measure the economic impact of tourism. Survey includes questions on domestic and international travel, as well as smaller local trips for visiting friends, relatives, or for other personal or business reasons. This data helps the governments, municipalities, agencies, and tourism and government CSIS to tourism industry better to understand and serve Canadian travelers. Your participation in this survey will help us measure changes in the travel habits of the Canadians and the impact of the C-19 recovery on the tourism industry. Okay, number one. Who should complete this survey? If you are the only person in the household who is 18 years or older, you have been selected to participate in this survey. If your household has two members, 18 years or older, the younger member has been selected. The younger. If your household has three or more members, 18 years or older, those lists in order the youngest to the oldest. The second person on the list has been selected. Now, they want you to sign your name. Okay, they want everybody to sign their name that are in it. How can the selected person complete the survey? The selected person can access the online questionnaire by following the instructions located in the top right corner. This letter, Statistics Canada may conduct your household by mail, email, or text to remind the selected person to participate in National Travel Survey, and please complete this by June the 30th, 2023. This survey is conducted under the authority of Statistics Canada when it ensures that the information you provide will be kept confidential. Horseshit. We do not release any information that could identify you or any other member of your household. Horseshit. To enhance the data from this survey, Statistics Canada may combine it with the information from other surveys or from administrative data. Your information may also be used by Statistics Canada for other statistical research purposes. In addition, information from partially completed questionnaires may be retained and used, and has the numbers. Signed, Sylvie Cyr, C-Y-R, Sylvie Cyr, Director, Collection Planning and Research Division. Collection Planning. Okay. So this is the letter, and it has a Q code on there. That letter here, it wants to know everything that you're doing. Traveling. It's none of their business. Okay? They want to know where you're going and how many times you go. It has nothing to do with tourism. Nothing. That's a bullshit story. Think about it, guys. This is the part that they want to keep you at home and never even go anywhere. Okay? Not to go anywhere. Because when you say, oh, I feel like going out somewhere, well, you can't. You fill that letter out, you signed it, you gave us permission to see what you're doing. No, none of your business. They have no right to know what we're doing here. Right? Here's what I think, you guys. That's what I think of Statistics Canada. They can't do shit. Okay? any bills that were ever passed now, and I'll tell you this right now, folks, any bills that are passed now that signs Justin Trudeau, that's forgery because the real one's gone. That's forgery. Okay? Forgery means that whoever is even signing that can also go to prison. So, Melissa says, did you know that the system they are switching us to is the QFS, and it's called the Quantum Financial System? This is the system where they measure your energetic field, and that's how that system determines. Okay, let's see. Determines. Hang on a second here. Oh, lots of letters here. Okay. When the 10-day, okay, determines, okay, what kind of person you are and how much money you will receive after they get rid of the COBOL banks. Yeah. So when the 10 days happens, they will send out notifications going by alphabetical order with last names and sending you to a center to register. And then there's a scan wand. Oh, she knows all about this. There's a scan wand. Oh, wait a minute here. It keeps flipping. Everybody's writing to me now, so I'm just trying to wait for not to keep flipping. The system is going to be very different from the generic banks, where they've been used to. Some people will have a hard time with the new world we will be living in because they will be stuck in the 3D matrix. It's imperative that people raise their vibrations, staying positive and strong in prayer. Thank you very much. These are messages we have been given humanity, and they have any idea what's going to happen. No, they don't. They have none whatsoever. Okay. And the thing is that they want you to go to these centers. They want you to fill out these forms. And no, I'm not filling out any forms because you are capitulating to them. You are giving up. Like they'll say, oh, this is mandatory or it's mandated. It's still volunteering. Mandatory mandate is not a law. It's you're giving your permission for them to do whatever they want with you. You have every sole right as a person, as who you are. Me, Derek. That's who I am. I identify myself as Derek. And that's who I am. And no one's going to tell me how to live my life. No one. Only my wife. Okay. And they are trying to see. The thing is here, this is called culture shock. This is basically what they're trying to do. This has been going on for a long, long time. This is not something that began a few months ago. This has been going on for well over 100 years. But now they're playing the games of, okay, we're going to get this generation. We're going to get them now. So no, ain't going to happen. Now, one more thing. There's more things here. Let's see here. Okay. We're going to share this one. I find this very interesting. That will benefit you guys to know what's going on. We're going to talk about the carbon footprint again. Okay, let's get back to this. Those are actually in the Facebook chat room. If you're still in the YouTube chat room, see if you can swing back to Facebook here. But here's what's going to happen. Here's the story.
New York City just announced a new rule they are proposing that would force pizzerias and restaurants to stop their decades-old way of making pizzas in order to cut carbon emissions and fight climate change. And here's what one New Yorker had to say about it.
Give us pizza or give us death. Give us pizza or give us death. Give us pizza or give us death. Destroying every small business. That's what this city keeps doing.
With all the factory explosions that have happened this year, not to mention all the train derailments that have seeped toxic chemicals into our waterways and our atmosphere, do we really need to be worried about the way that we make pizza? Let me know what you think down below.
Now you guys know this is the beginning of it. Now there's more to it. Okay. That's one of the stories. There's one story that I was totally blown away. I'm not going to talk about the submarine because people are actually writing to me now, and they've been talking to me since last week regarding the submarine. That was a distraction, folks. It has nothing to do. The submarine part had nothing to do with the submarine. Basically, they're trying to distract the bill that they're trying to pass so quickly. Everyone focused on that submarine, the people that got supposedly died in there, which they did not, by the way. They're at home safely. It was a setup so they can pass the bill, so Bill Gates can actually pass his no meat product. Okay, the one that was lab built fake meat, and this is made by embryos of whatever, whether it's animal or human, we don't know. So this is all done like fake. So anyways, it's a fake story as well as everything else is fake. Let that one go. So let's go to the next story here. And what's coming up next will be yes, this one here. Now this is going to take about 10 minutes to watch. Now this guy here he lives there. He lives in this place. His name is Adrian, the realist. And Adrian actually was walking in the forest. Like he lives in that area. And there were actually a good half dozen or so people wearing white hazmat suits and face masks, face shields. Okay. They were pouring out chemicals in the river. Okay, this is where the land, where like anything to do with the land, the water, and the animals, it's going to affect everything. There were people standing guard, and the guy who was actually was video recording this, said to them, "You can't do this. Stop." And they stood there, and they're saying, "Well, we can do whatever we want." No, they can't. So I'm going to send this to you guys. If you have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I did share this on my Facebook, but I want to do this again for those who actually did miss it. It's very important. It takes about 10 minutes to watch. This is going to break your freaking heart. Okay, I'm telling you, this is heart-wrenching. I want you to share this as much as you possibly can.
All right, we have people here. We got people here. What's going on, boys? Hey, what's going on with the hazmat suits? We got people in the water. Well, it looks like they got some kind of a chemical here. We need a call for everybody to get to Miramichi Lake, Miramichi River ASAP. What's going on? Gee, not you. Man, that breaks my heart. Okay, what's going on? No, they're not. I'm going downstream of it. I'm going downstream. I don't care. Yes, probably is pretty dangerous, but I'm going to turn that off. And if it's that dangerous, come on over. So, I got the poison. Put it in your canoe. They just started it. I got it shut off in time. Don't breathe it in though, Pete. So, explain now what's going on. don't have anything to do with this treatment.
Why he's here?
They're just here to make sure they don't get hurt. These two people.
I'm not here to hurt them. I'm just not going to let them poison the lake.
I know I'm not going to dad. I don't think bad person. That's the only thing.
Okay, so, boys, we've literally got a ton of people on the way right now. So unless you do want a confrontation, like, man, I've got this going viral pretty much. I best, I would say, skedaddle. Dan, that's not a threat. I'm just telling you, I know how it works. Huh? No, I'm just telling you, if you don't want a confrontation, then it's best to leave, right? It's not a threat, it's just the way it is.
What's your reason?
Not to let them poison.
I'm responsible for these two guys.
They're not getting hurt right now, are they?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want anybody to hurt. Where are you going on?
Let's go down past them, Pete, and then they can't poison any further down. I know they don't, but I'm just saying, this way here, we're down past where yous are. I already see one dead fish right there. Oh, there you go. Did you get a holler at Andrea? All right, people, we need you here. Okay, I knew you'd be on your way. We got backup coming, man. We're gonna flood this river full of people, not poison. Yeah, there's a few dead fish that. Yeah, I know there's some floating right around here. Sneaky buggers. Yeah, don't touch the water, Pete. Got dead fish just in the matter of time of them putting just a little bit in, and there's already at least 50 dead fish that we can see. No, I'm not coming over. You can talk from there.
They consider that like theft, okay?
Oh.
So here's the thing. That
I didn't take it out of your hand sitting on the rock, man.
So what? Just so you know that, okay? Now, I'm making the decision here that we're pulling the pin here.
Okay.
We're headed. We have to go down anyway, okay? Like that. We're pulling the pin here, okay? We're leaving. So, ideally, I'd like to take that with us.
You can pick it up off that site if you want.
Okay?
Yeah, that work? And then that.
All I'm telling you is just they're considering it a theft, okay? That's all I can tell you. I'm not going to try to wrestle it from your boat, or you know what I mean. All I'm telling you is these two guys and us are heading down, okay?
How far down?
Well, we have to go out.
I know, but how far out? Where did you just come in at?
From the river,
I know, but where at down there?
right at the mouth of this Lake Brook.
So you came in at the mouth of Lake Brook? So everybody, they came in at the mouth of Lake Brook. We will follow them on down to make sure that nothing else goes on.
So that's all I'm saying. We're going, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna get them to tidy their stuff up here, whatever they have. Just gonna say this to me. Let's start right away. I just like to register. I'm concerned for my safety. They're saying that he's following us down. He's been very threatening. The card is taking it. Very doing the product, is taking stuff from us.
I know Ben. Okay.
Yeah, I've
met Wayne many times there. I don't think you need to be concerned about physical violence towards yourself.
Use other guys that are packing, okay? We just got phones.
I think what you need to do, Tom, is keep your things however you need to clean up here. And we're going.
So Ben, man to man, like you know, it really breaks my heart to see here. Now, you give me your word that you're going down this river. Are you going to allow them to poison anymore today? Is there any other people here besides these two guys? Because if we run into other people, that's just going to cause more tension. We don't want tension, okay?
I'm just responsible for these two guys, Wayne.
Okay.
You have my word, these two guys will not do anything else today.
Okay.
All I can tell you is those two guys, I'm here for these two guys, that's it.
Okay. So, Ben, if you want to come pick that up after, you're more than welcome. I'll pick it up. You, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, man, we've got a pile of people coming, and if it's anyone other than you, I just don't want to have that problem. So, yeah, you can hear some dead fish just dying, literally.
Excuse me, Wayne, for a second.
My pants just reek of that stuff. Okay, somebody call Andrea's phone and have her get down here, please.
Okay, guys. Now you know what's going on. This is basically, this was intentional. This is how they create what you call the food shortage. Okay. They don't want us to have fish. They want to ruin the lakes. They want to create the forest fires. Think about it. This is all in the same time. This is all happening at the same time. How come these guys in the hazmats wearing hazmat suits? Why don't they just do their little investigation without the hazmat suits? Why don't they just jump into the lake and go for a swim? You know, like, you pour the poison in there, and like this guy said, there's well over 50 plus fish floating along this, floating on the surface. Why? Nobody did anything. I'm surprised there's no rifles that were pulled out by any hunters, and they actually, I'm surprised they didn't shoot these guys, because you're destroying wildlife. I'm surprised there's actually no police officers or even forestry officers, real forestry officers, that arrested these men for poisoning the water. Okay, that's the thing. They are trying to make sure that we are depopulated. And these guys pretend, oh, well, you know, I didn't know, I was just being their guide. You know, you're poisoning the freaking water. They were. They didn't answer. They didn't say a word. Those two guys from the hazmat suits never said a word. Not a thing, not one word about why they did it. All what happened was, this guy here, his name is Wayne, okay, because they heard his name. Wayne was the one that grabbed the poison from them, and he says, I'm keeping this poison, I'm taking it. And he scooped it off their, I'm not sure what it was, some sort of a rock, whatever, that they placed it on there, and he took the poison away from them. And he seized it. Now he's calling people down to go after them. Now, this actually is in Canada, folks. Now, there are two places that are part of, it's called Lake Brooke. There's two places called Lake Brooke. One's in Nova Scotia and one's in British Columbia. And I wouldn't put it past it if it was British Columbia. So I'm going to have a look here. see here. I was wondering on the TikTok, it says Adrian the Realist, but I'm not sure if this is the right Adrian. There's 3 of them. Oh, let me mute that one. It says Adrian Lodash. Okay, let's try this. ADR IEN. Nope. Nope. Yeah, IEN Lodash. Okay. Here. Let's see. This is correct. Well, Adrian the Realist is actually his First Nations. So he's a hard worker, this man. He really exposes people. Okay. So, yeah. So he's First Nations himself. Exposed a lot of bad people. And he was trying to get people to come down and give him a hand to help him. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. So that's the one there. Yeah. And TikTok is making sure that not everyone gets to see it. That's the reason why I recorded it. I got a feeling this is in Nova Scotia. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, there's 2. There's one in Nova Scotia, one in BC, British Columbia. There's actually 2 Brook or Lake Brook, Brook. If anybody out there actually has seen this video before, if you're able to track the person who actually did this video, please share that as much as you possibly can with others. But again, these guys should not be in our country. Now, I have heard of a lot of these guys are testing or even dumping chemicals in the waters in Nova Scotia. I've been seeing it quite a lot, or hearing about it quite a lot, and it's been never been on the news, but people have been exposing it for sure. Okay, did you know that the system they are? Okay, I just seen that already. Let's see. Yeah, the river in some New Brunswick. Okay. So she says the river's in New Brunswick. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it, Catherine. So again, this is in Canada too. So this has got to stop. Right? We need to inform I'm surprised that that they didn't have the officers out there to arrest these guys. There was no permits that gave them the right to actually dropping chemicals in that water. And look at all the dead fish, and no one did a thing. Everyone was calm about it, like, oh well, we're leaving now. We just dumped all this chemical in here. We're going to kill all these fish. That means no one gets to eat this. And if you do eat this now, this fish, and this has happened before. Years before, there was up in Fort McMurray, they were doing the same thing with the waters up there back in 2000 when they had just before they had the fire, 2014. And they actually were somebody was dropping chemicals in the water. We were watching the deer that nobody can hunt the deer or even fish the fish, because a lot of the guys are hunters and fishermen said, if you open up the fish and it has oil in it, you can't eat it. If you kill the deer and if its heart is full of oil or any kind of chemical, you can't eat the deer. So, okay, the poisonous river was the viral last summer, Derek, and as I shared it as soon as possible. Yes, young man is First Nations. Thank you very much. So it was last year. That's fine. The sooner this is taken care of, the better. Okay. Because when this was sent to me last night, they said, Derek, you got to see this. So I'm hoping, seriously, I really am hoping that they actually did arrest these men. But mind you, the men were wearing hazmat suits and the complete face mask, so you could not recognize them. So I got a funny feeling that I'm not sure they'll be arrested. They were arrested. But if anybody was in contact with the person that actually video recorded this, ask them if anybody was arrested on the count of this. I like to find out myself, just to be sure. Okay. You wrote a second comment, 9 comments before this one. I'm posting. Scroll up. Okay. Yeah, just drop another one behind it, Melissa. If you need to repeat it again, I want to see this because it's for some reason it's skipping. Yeah. It's as soon as I touch it, it goes there real quick. Okay, years ago, Nova Scotia was actually putting lime rock in many rivers to neutralize an acid rain, etc. It worked, and now they're putting poisons. Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing. They're doing it because they want to. Here's one thing. Think about this, guys. Why are so many towns abandoning their own towns? Like, why the population abandoning their own towns? Not because there's no work, because there's no food, nothing available. There's no birds, no wildlife, nothing. They're abandoning it. And yet people are asking, well, why? Because they poisoned the freaking town. So what's going to happen with these empty towns? These were prepared for people coming in from other countries to take over these towns. Okay. But also it was the beginning of the depopulation. Now, these particular towns have been abandoned, I would say, for the last 20 years. If you look at New Brunswick and some of the areas, a lot of towns have been abandoned. And the houses are still there. Nobody can sell anything, right? Yeah, exactly. They're trying to move all the people in the city. That's why you guys had well over 300 fires in Alberta, in northern Alberta, over 300. And 90% of them, I would say 91% of them, were intentionally made by these people. I've got video. It's in my cell phone here. I should have played it, but I should have transferred it to the computer, but I didn't on the page. But I have actually, I'm sure you guys may have seen it. The helicopters, there was 3 helicopters that were shooting flames and fire from the helicopter into the forest. The forest was not on fire back then. There was nothing in the forest, and the forest was green. And they're going above the forest and just slightly above the trees, and they're just lighting them on fire. Now, number one, if you're lighting something on fire, doesn't mean there's a fire over there. That means that was intentional. And these were started in Alberta. Okay. Not in BC, not in somewhere in the States. Those are done in Alberta purposely. Now, when the RCMP, 20 RCMP officers are told to stand in front of the forest and line up and tell the people they can't even put out the fire, especially the rescue, search and rescue, that the firemen, they're not allowed to put out the fire, and they said, let it burn. What does that tell you? And someone asked the RCMP, who told you to say, let it burn? And they said, well, our boss. Who's your boss? Well, we can't tell you. Yeah, you do. Okay. It's called free land. Think about it, guys. Her name, free land. She's looking for free land. And all those forest fires that were made were specifically to kick you guys out of the area so they can dig for gold, because there's gold under your area. Did you guys know that? Do you have underground gold under your reservations? Yeah, you do. You've got gold under all the areas of your reservations. It's under the ground. Because they went down there and discovered it, and they're trying to get you guys out so they can actually claim that land and take it. All across Canada from that, for what I'm seeing today, especially out east, smoking out New York City. I heard it's a smoke out the rest of those underground tunnels to get the rest of the traffickers and children who are in those tunnels still. Yes, they have been working on that. Here's caught. They have been working on that. The air here is very muggy here where I live, and my hair is sticking to the back of my clothing because I can feel the mug. Fires all across Canada, also lithium. Yeah. So we are going through, I mean, what really is making me upset, and I will use the word piss me off, they're killing wildlife. The government's killing the wildlife. They're just killing the wildlife just for the sake of claiming property. Yeah, not really frizzy. It's probably frizzy. I used to be a hairstylist years ago, back in the 80s. So it's just waving in the wind. So, what can I say? Okay. Yeah, that one. Now, the next thing I want to share is the next one. The Simpsons. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. The Simpsons. Now, every time people actually watch The Simpsons, they're based on predictions. The guys that actually do these, create these cartoons, characters for all these many years, I think around possibly maybe 25 years or more. But these guys, for some reason, the guy who actually was the cartoonist or the writer was making predictions, and was telling the story. And so the White Hats were involved to make sure this all happened. So here's how this one is working. Now, the Simpsons are showing the lands beyond the ice wall. Watch the ice wall.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I was watching Simpsons last night. I want to watch all the 34 seasons. You can say my brain starts short-circuiting. But anyways, we started from season 34, working our way back. Anyways, I got to one of these episodes. I can't remember, episode 6, episode 7 of 34. But take a look at this and tell me what you think. And I'm going to show you something at the end of this video. Here.
A rabbit in the water.
All the different lands. Futurama, Family Guy, South Park, all of them. Now, it's a little crazy here because I'm going to show you something. Okay, so I'm not saying that's what The Simpsons said, but when you look at this, does make you wonder. And I know that they're trying to mimic Westworld, with the different worlds, you know, and I get it, but these are different worlds. They're all circles. They're all encompassed in a covering or a dome, very much like those where you can see them bust out of the dome that they're in. I don't know, man. I don't know. Looks very similar to me. What do you guys think, man? Let me know what you think on that.
Okay. Some of you guys may not know, but we do have Tartaria. Okay, we are part of Tartaria as well. It's been around for a long, long time. We've been getting a lot of exposure of Antarctica, and there's actually there have been released photographs of from the early 1800s, from photos, videos, you name it, that was going on in the past. Giants, aliens, like it's big. All that's coming out now. So Trump has allowed, as well as the military has allowed, for us to see. And these are, folks, these are not clip art. This is not made up by some kid in the candy store that's got a computer and he's going to make some of these funky looking pictures. No, these are all real. There's actually, I got some, if you actually get a chance to go on my Telegram page, you'll see some of the Tartarian stuff. And there's actually, I've got a photographs of almost every president of the past holding on to cell phones and also using computers. Okay. And when you see this, this is not something added into their hand. It's not, you know, CGI'd. It's that sort of thing. This is all real. This actually, these things did exist. Cell phones did exist in the future. We did have, you know, we do have secret space program, and people are able to do time travel. It's been around for a long, long time. So, and I believe in time travel because I have been around it since the 60s. Friends of mine that showed me some stuff that I was not scared of. I was like, wow, it could be possible. And then when we talked about Tesla, and Tesla was talking about time travel and the machine he's made, and they tried to shut it down on him when he was trying to create that, well, which he did actually. Donald Trump's uncle was the one who helped him build it. So there's all kinds of new crazy things that's going to come up. It will be shared with you in the near future very soon. One last piece here I got here from this young lady, Jen Great. She's actually, Jennifer Great. She's actually been one of the top, I would say, really nice young lady, works very hard in the field to share as much as possible. And she's got a TikTok page called Introverts008. Anyways, this is, I'm sure you may know who this young lady is. She's been trying so hard to share her information, and this is the young lady here. Watch what's coming up real quick. This is a really very important one. Please pay attention to this one.
This is a bit of an emergency broadcast regarding the digital IDs. Yesterday in Canada, Justin Trudeau met with all of our provincial premiers and basically told them that we will not be able to get funding for our healthcare unless the premiers agree to the digital IDs. I will show all the proof. Now, those of you who think that digital IDs are great, they are not. Let me show you what these digital IDs will actually entail when it comes to control. Here's an overview basically of everything that will be included in the digital IDs. This can be found on the WEF website and also on all of the provincial and government websites. You will have healthcare. You will not be able to access any healthcare without this digital ID. Financial system. You will actually not even be able to carry out bank accounts or carry out anything online regarding financial transactions. Food and sustainability. This says for farmers and consumers, you will not be able to get into stores. You will not be able to even sell anywhere. Once they have this system in place, this is where the digital currency will come in. Travel and mobility. We saw that with the Arrive scam app. Humanitarian responses, which is basically just garbage. It's in case something happens, they will be able to track and find you, including if you don't want anything injected in your body. E-commerce. You will not be able to shop online. Then you have social media platforms. You will literally need this ID in order to get TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. No more fake accounts. You have e-government. So if you want your taxes done, any sort of benefits from there, you will need this. Then it gets even scarier. Telecommunications, you will not be able to actually get an internet provider without this digital ID, and they will be able to track you. And then up there, you have smart cities, and we all know what those are. Those of you who think I'm lying, here's the federal condition. In order for us to access our money, our tax money, this is basically a hostage situation of our tax money. And what you will see is instigators, government instigators under Twitter, under Justin Trudeau, that basically say we need to push our provincial governments to, get the money so that we can spend it better. No, we don't. We actually need to call our provincial governments right now, today and tomorrow, and every single day until they scrap this digital ID. They cannot pass this without our approval. So I need everybody in Canada to call your provincial governments and literally tell them that this is not going to happen. If we need to privatize, if we need to somehow get into a different system of healthcare, we need to do that. As for everyone in the United States, you're kind of lucky because your healthcare is privatized. There's also a lot more internet providers, some that will not go along with it because of capitalism. So your money is actually speaking a lot louder in the United States. But Canada, this is coming down the pipeline, and it's coming down the pipeline fast, and we need to act.
Okay. This is serious stuff, guys. This is something you need to pay attention. Please share that with others as much as possible, because we need to get that out there. And this is not just in Canada, but it actually is going to happen all across the world. And some of it actually has started, especially in China. China is actually dealing with it now. The Netherlands actually are dealing with this. There's a few places that people have already got hit with it. I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to see this happening to us in Canada, because, a lot of people, especially elders, won't be able to handle it, none whatsoever. They'll be forced to buy cell phones, and they don't intend to want to do that because they can't afford it. So if there's no cell phones provided for elders, then what do you do next, right? Because if the elders don't want a cell phone and you're forcing it upon them, they won't get food. They won't get anything to be provided regarding even healthcare. So you should not put her link in the comment section. Why? That's what they wanted. Anyways, so basically we're sharing, and you should. Sorry, no. Someone wrote it to me. Someone said you should not. No, it says you should put a link in the comments. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, guys, go ahead. Somebody else wrote in there, say can't. You can't. You can. You can actually wrote it in there. They're trying to ask me not to do it, but you can. You can share, yes, you can, and as much as you possibly can, because she wants people to share. So if you do see it, and they see on the page. Now I know there's a lot of stuff about her in TikTok. She's very well known up here. Her original page is called Introverts. INTROVERTS 008. Introverts 008. Okay, that's her page on TikTok. INTROVERTS 008. Find her in there. Watch some of the work that she does. She knows the medical industry very well. She's part of it, has always been. And she's trying to help all of us get the word out as well. So we got some really great people that are shareholders, like to share information as much as we can to get out there, right? Anyways, let's see. One more thing. I was very kind of thrown back here. There's a young man got shot, killed by police at the Hope's Fraser Canyon Hospital. What happened was, this happened actually today, and the BC's police watchdog had been called to Hope, where a man died after being shot and killed by police at the hospital on Wednesday. The Upper Fraser Valley RCMP says it was called to a crash on Highway 5, the Zopkios off-ramp, around 11:45 a.m., where they found several people with non-life-threatening injuries. Mounties say that they were injured, were taken to hospital, where two of them got into a physical fight. According to a release, the BC Emergency Health Services EHS workers asked police to help stop the altercation, and the officer fired their gun after in interacting with one of the men. And though he had received immediate medical attention, he was pronounced dead at the scene. An officer pulled his gun because two men were fist fighting amongst each other, and the officer took out his gun and shot and killed the man in the hospital. Meanwhile, Fraser Health says outside of the man who was killed, all patients, staff, and medical staff are physically safe and unharmed. Really? You had to use that phrase. Oh, outside of that, all the patients, staff, and medical staff are physically safe and unharmed. No one was in danger, officer. You were the one that tried to separate the two men. All it takes is two men to do it. Pull them back off each other. No, you got to pull out your gun and freaking shoot them, dumbass. The emergency department at Fraser Canyon Hospital has been closed as police investigate, and Fraser Health asks anyone who needs urgent care to head to the Chilliwack General Emergency Hospital Department. Mounties say the Independent Investigations Office of the British Columbia, the IIOBC, is now investigating, so police will not be providing further information on the shooting. He never reached for his gun. People already know the story. The people were in there like they were watching. They pulled back the two guys, and one officer didn't like the altercation, and he shot and killed the guy. All right, whatever. Derek, as a psychic medium, are you able to switch timelines? Am I able to switch timelines? I wish. Now, mind you, one thing I could say this. You can switch timelines before you're passing, because you can actually ask spirit or even tell spirit that you don't want to come back here again, that you want to go to a better place, like a much higher light, better place, and that you don't want to come back into this earth time period. And then when you do go, you don't come back here. You go back, you go to a new place that is higher force, higher source. But it takes a lot of, and spirit has already said that many times, that you can make a decision whether you want to come back here again and do more work on this timeline, or if you prefer the future and in another timeline, yes, you can, but they'll do it. You can't. I don't think you can do it physically of this time. Mind you, I'm going to correct myself on that one, because there have been people who've actually had what you called walk-ins, and the walk-ins are people that actually had near-death experiences, and when they're already almost ready to cross over, and yet they'll say, I could come back, but I don't want to come back. So can someone else take my place? And it has been known that another soul or another spirit will switch that person's body, but it takes about 3 days for that person to study all the memories. Like they will have to be fed all the memories of this person's life. And it's been known, for example, there was a young lady that passed away, or almost passed away, near death, so to speak. When she woke up in the hospital, she said, she looked around and she goes, "Where am I? I don't belong here." And the girl said, well, then she called her by her name. She goes, "That's not my name. I'm so-and-so and so, and I'm not from here." Find out later the girl was actually from Venus herself, like the original girl was from Venus. And she was a scientist from that lived on Venus. And she was plenty upset the fact that she was in somebody else's body on this earth, on this planet. She was able to stay with the body, or with that person's body, for a few weeks, because she had to download her memories, like of that girl's life. And she didn't switch over to that person, but she took the person's memories. But she still kept her own personal memory from the life of her being herself as a doctor. But she did say that she never died on Venus. She just transported from there to take that person's body. and she played her in that body for as long as I know. And that story came out 1994. Yeah, about 1994. I remember hearing that story from a lady who she knew the girl, and this actually, the woman that switched bodies was in Australia. That was pretty cool. I was kind of interesting. Well, that's when they were beginning to talk about walk-ins back then. It was quite interesting. So yes, we can have walk-ins. It's been known people have walk-ins if we choose not to be here. But again, you have a birth contract. You have to follow it, and you have to stay with it. I chose to stay. I wasn't supposed to be here after the age of 16, but I chose to stay. I knew I was being called upon to do I'm not sure what my life's work was supposed to be at the time, but they said they'll call upon me when they need me. When they did call upon me, which is when I was 32, then I knew then that that was this is my job. This is something that I chose. And they called upon me to help. That was I'm doing God's work. And then I have been all these years. So you take on, you actually are accepting your role, whatever you do in life. And I chose this. I try to create as much honesty as possible to share with you out there. And I wanted to do these last couple of weeks. I wanted to show you guys some of the videos. Some of the people have been trying so hard to share with our viewers all across the world. And again, the reason why I'm doing this right now is because a lot of these videos that you'll see will not be able to be shared by the end of this month, because Trudeau is making sure that nobody who's Canadian will be allowed to share any videos if it doesn't relate to, if it relates to anything to do with what we're talking about now. He's making sure no one gets to see it. So he's going to smother it out, or he'll investigate us and he'll say, okay, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back next time on my show and talk about this, because he may cut me out and says, no, you got to do this. And I go like, screw you. But if you do lose me on the Facebook or the YouTube page, I'll be on Telegram. Download the app. It's freer there. You can say what you want. Nobody's gonna to judge you. There's no fact checker in there. You have your freedom, right? Did you know when you look back or look forward, that's you switching timelines? We all have that ability, but people need to wake up and open their minds, more especially their vibrations. And you're right, Melissa. What it is that's why they tried to brain fog our pineal gland by getting the snake bite. That's what his plan was to basically shorten your lifespan, but also to knock out your godlight. Your godlight's right here. That's your godlight. And if they try to smother it out, so there are means and ways to fix your godlight. And there actually are plants that you can consume to fix the godlight. Okay, look it up. I've got information if you need that. I know what you can use. I've got the information. In fact, I will put it on my True North Strong and Free page on Facebook if you want to get the pictures. Because I'm not sure how long it'll last in there, but if you do find them, okay. What you can also do too, you can go to my True North Strong and Free page on Telegram, and I'll drop in all the pineal gland work information and use this. This is going to help you a whole lot. Guaranteed, guys, you'll be far more open than you ever believed before in your life. I have learned so much. I would say these last 3 years, I've learned a lot of stuff that I would have thought of in my life, ever. I'm far more educated now, way more educated than any regular teacher in a school. I can educate anyone, and I've known more about history, more history than ever before in my life. And not just common history, Canadian history. I'm talking about other political histories. I'm talking about people that have participated and whether it's wrongdoing or good doings. And I've learned about this, but these are people that are giving you information, and you keep that information. You're actually downloading it. You're hanging on to it because it's going to be vitally important for you in the future. And you can be using this when you actually having to deal with say a deal with a confrontation with an officer, or a confrontation with someone who's trying to make you, or trying to get you to believe that you're crazy, right? You already know the truth. You can't always try to convince everyone, but whether they look at you sideways and say that you're crazy. I said, look, you know what? By the end of this year, or by next year, they're going to show you, and I already know that they're going to show you the truth, and you're going to either go in denial or not. But it's up to you. You make that choice. Don't look at me sideways and say, "Oh, you're crazy," because they're going to do that. Going, "Oh, you're really weird," and they're going to leave you. But they're going to find out, and when they're going to find out, they're going to go like, "Oh, I should have listened to you." All right. So what I'm doing right now every week I've been preparing you guys what to look ahead for. So then you don't feel like, oh my God, I didn't know about that. And you go into a freak zone, right? Because a lot of people go through that, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm going to be, but I will say this, keep collecting as much food as you can for the next 6 months. I will say this, please collect as much food as you can, store it away for the next 6 months, food and cash. Okay. At least a good couple $1,000 if you can. Just keep on collecting it. Don't depend on your banks, because your banks will, and when that happens, they're going to shut down. And they're going to say, oh, we don't have any money for you. And they're going to say your money's only worth pennies to the dollar, because they're trying to get you to go digital. They're going to try and do that, or any and every bank's going to try and do that. So I keep telling people, if you're going to do any switching, if you feel more comfortable, then go to your savings banks, because they're much safer, because you're a shareholder. They cannot make any changes without your approval. But a common corporation bank, they'll say, oh, we don't have any money. Next thing you know, they got your money. Your money's been kidnapped by them, and that's your money. Okay, so if you only need X amount of dollars to pay cash or for bills, then you put that in your bank account. Anything else that's loose, that's not going to be used, keep it at home. Keep it to your side until this whole thing is over. Because once you start to see the 10 days of darkness, they're still going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen just to us. But the 10 days of darkness, 10 days of darkness means that's the 10 days they're going to scoop up the bad guys. Okay. The military has already flown over Edmonton. The helicopters have already gone over Edmonton. Okay. I'm talking about not one helicopter, well over 20, 30 helicopters. The military has already flown over Edmonton. They have actually already been here, because last week we had major heavy duty helicopters fly above us where I live. And this was in Surrey. Okay. So they're like, my house was vibrating when they were flying over. I've never felt that before, ever. I was going like my house was shaking, like, what the hell? Early hours of the morning. But they are letting you know they're there, and they're letting you know they're going to keep an eye on you. But they're there to protect you, not to hurt you. They're there to keep an eye on you, making sure you're safe. So if you do see military out on the streets carrying their guns, don't be mad at them. They're protecting you from the bad guys. Because when they have the 10 days of darkness, it's not about your darkness. It's the bad guys are going to be collected within those 10 days. Right? So you're going to be safe. So, but just that's the reason why they're preparing you to make those switches slowly, but you'll always be protected. Always make sure, if you're able to invest in gold and silver, start investing in gold and silver. That's going to be one of the most major, easy protections that's like the gold and silver is worth even way more than your cash. So that's the next step. I mean, digital money, that's just temporary. That's not going to be, this is where the deep state are trying to see if they can go on their last listing of trying to control you and say, no, this is what we're going to do. We want to know where you're going. And see, once you digital, then they can track you everywhere you go. Once you hand over all of your personal information, and they're telling you can't buy this and can't buy that, you can't go here, can't go there. Bullshit. There are mom-pop businesses that can actually survive without anybody. Turn to them. there will be food provided. There's going to be farmers providing food. They say, well, you can't leave this area. You can find a way. I mean, people have been doing it even when they had the lockdown during the COVID. They had lockdowns on these young girls on reservations that were, for example, up in Northwest Territories. Young girls are trying to leave the reserve so they can go get some food for their kids. They weren't even allowed to leave the reserve, so they snuck into the people's trunks to go into town to get the groceries for the kids. They came back and brought the groceries. Right? That's how horrible it was. They were locking down people that they weren't even allowed to leave their own reserve. Give me a break. That's how bad it was in Northwest Territories. And some people probably here in the North and Alberta and BC region, other reserves, same way. No, you're not leaving. Yes, we are. No, you're not leaving. What gives you the right to tell us we can't do? The chief said so. The chief doesn't tell you what to do. The chief only represents your tribe, does not mean that he owns you. And that chief got paid off. Trust me, I know that. I'm not just saying just chiefs. A lot of people in higher ups in any position all got paid off. And so basically those key people are going to be taken out and gone, like going bye-bye too. That's how it works. Okay, Melissa says, get lots of sunlight to download the energetic codes. Yes, humanity need it. Be kind to one another and be there for one another. And also too, Melissa, which is really great, tell people this. If you want to enjoy looking at the sun, sunset and sunrise is the best time. You can stare at it in your eyes, and then you get a major amount of healing to open up your pineal gland when you can stare at the sun first thing in the morning, as like when the sun rises, and then that's it. Don't do it during the daytime, but when the sun rises or the sun sets. It's very, very calming, and you'll start noticing that the round of your eyes will start turning like bright. You'll look bright today, bright and sunny today, right? So, okay. Let's see what else I got here to share with you guys before we call it. Any more talk about? Okay, that's Michigan. Where is it? No. Okay. Try this, guys. This is important. This young lady is giving you some advice. These are from farmers. Okay, here goes.
I want you to get a farmer's almanac, and I want you to flip towards the back, and I want you to find the page that has the list of plastics and the numbers that are associated with them. All right, so one is using microwavable food trays, salad dressing, soft drinks, blah, 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 these things. It is hard to clean, absorbs bacteria and flavors, avoid reusing. 2 is often used in household cleaners, shampoo bottles, milk jugs, transmits no known chemicals into foods, yet they use it for detergent bottles. So this is used for our like cleaners. This one is used for foods, and it, oh my God. So just to show you what I'm talking about here, that number right there, that's a 2. I mean, it continues on. The ones that had me just disgusted were these. 6, used in water jugs, food containers, linked to heart disease and obesity, avoid. Water bottle. Wouldn't you know? It's a 7. It's not just single-use plastic either. It's in everything. If this isn't your cue to stop using plastic, I don't know what is.
Make you think, doesn't it? So many things we need to be aware of. That is absolutely crazy. Oh well, it's been done. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate your time this week. And if you guys are interested in wanting to share, please share this as much as you possibly can. I will be putting this on Rumble on my page after. For those who want to share this, please put it out everywhere as much as you possibly can to everybody. And regarding every video that's been played today, the things I've been sharing. Again, folks, today I wanted to share with you that Krista Freeland actually is Justin Trudeau's handler because she works as the trustee for the WEF. She's the one that's telling him what to say and what to do. Okay. And she's also the one that's been traveling everywhere across Canada to basically help create the 15-minute city. It's her, not as much as you think. I mean, I'm watching this thinking, how is it he's just being around there and he's a distraction, but Freeland's the one that's on the road. Watch closely. Watch her. She's the one. She's a trustee of the WEF. She's the one that's majorly, and also, folks, she was actually a close personal friend of George Soros. They're best buds. Okay. She said she looked up to him like an uncle. Like an uncle. Really? So now you know. And there's photographs of her showing her actually like she turns to this man as like he's the most important person in the world to her. So anyways, if you know who George Soros is, if you don't know, look him up because he's George Soros actually was a brown shirt working for Hitler back in the Second World War. He actually was pushing Hitler's regime. And the same thing where Justin Trudeau's wife is the granddaughter of Hitler. If you don't know, trust me, I've got the information on that too. So anyways, love you and leave you guys. Be good to each other and talk to you guys next time. We'll see you next week. And if there's anything else that I have that needs to be shared way ahead of time, before the night of Thursday, I will do that. I'm hoping to get Rob Mercury and his wife Mix to come in on the program next week. And we're going to be doing an interview. This could be great. These guys, Rob actually himself actually is an ex-military, both him and his wife. And Rob actually is a remote viewer, and he is one of the top guys. He's a whiteboard warrior. This guy knows his stuff. So I'm hoping to have him on next week on this program. And when you start seeing what he's going to be sharing with you, it's going to wake you up even more. It can open your eyes like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay. Now, if you want to find some of his work out there, he actually is also on Rumble too. You can type in the word remote view, ESP, spiritual mechanics, or even type in the word Rob Mercury. Okay. And his newest one's on June the 4th that he had done. He's got many of them out there, but he's this guy is a fantastic, evil person, right? Or a great person to ever talk to. And you're most welcome. And thank you very much, Catherine. Stand for your freedom. Don't let anybody get to you. Also, if you still need any help, guys, if anybody becomes a bit of a push trying to make you feel guilty, or anybody that their bosses are trying to make people feel guilty if they don't do what they're told to do about getting any snake bites or whatever have you, or even nose dips, tell them not to do it. And if they push them to do it, if they're worried about losing their jobs, tell them that they need to go online, actionforcanada.com, and number 4, actionforcanada.com. Download the PDF files. These are actually cease and desist files. They are legal documentary files. Fill them out. Go after the company, wherever you want to do, and they will be charged. Okay, you can actually sue them and charge them for what they're doing. And that means that if by some chance, if you do lose your job and you go to court, you get all your money and some because of what they had done to you. So, that's what we're trying to do, is to protect you, give you some of that great, great gifts. July the 1st is coming in, Canada Day. I was normally going to be set up my wares at the park in Cloverdale for Canada Day, but for some reason, they decided not to have any vendors. They're going to be, or regular vendors that are selling their wares. They're only going to have food trucks, 50 food trucks. Oh, well, if you guys are hungry, go down there. It's in Cloverdale, British Columbia, here where I live, not too far by, but I believe on 31st. Let's see here. I think yeah, I may be at the flea market on the first. No, not first. This Sunday I'll be at the flea market. If you guys are in my region, in my area, come on down, visit me, come see me. I'll be at the flea market in Cloverdale this Sunday. Selling my wares. You'll see a big white tent. It'll say The Extra Touch, and that's me. I like to sell my stuff out there and get people to see me. And so, hey, what's going on? What else is there before I forget? I think I got everything. If anybody's interested in wanting to get a reading, you're more than welcome to go onto my website, whiteskycloud.com. You can always call to make an appointment. I haven't been busy doing readings for a lot of people. It's been continuous for me. I wasn't sure I was going to be on tonight because I've been busy all day reading people. For the last 3 weeks, which is great. I'm not complaining. I love people, and if they need my help, I've actually been seeing people that I haven't seen 5, 10, 15 years. So it's wonderful to have people coming back that are returners, come back and say, okay, update me what's going on next, let's see here. And more in here? No, I think we're good. If I do miss anything, guys, please give me a screen back. You'll be seeing, if you please also share and forward all this program to everyone. Let them know what's going on. And if they need to know any more, if anybody's not too sure what is going on, they can always give me a scream and I can update you. There have been people asking me recently if I would be interested in doing a presentation like at a location. I'd love to, but every time they're getting ready to do it, then I guess whoever is arranging these locations, they have a tendency of saying, oh, I changed my mind. the business or locations that we're going to go to. So we'll see what happens. Thank you. Yeah. I keep on doing what I'm doing. Melissa, you take good care of yourself, and you're busy mama. So, okay. Let's see else. Okay, good. Okay. Guys, in the meantime, and in between time, another edition of Between Two Worlds, Shadow Chasing. Be good to each other, Kapitanina. And what else? Good. Love you guys. Bye.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time to stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live